and all the hipsters, all the, those chubby, green-haired tundra Wookiees. They want to have abortions, but no one will sleep with them. Those. You're doing it because you're a filthy communist, and you're trying to unravel our society.
Most people think...
Yeah, quite all right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free. That's the God camera looking down at us. We've also got the new Flock of Seagulls cam. The new Flock of Seagulls. Yeah, I ran so far away. Look at that. And all my chins. Some of you guys only got one chin. Ha ha. I've got four. That makes me better than you because I have four chins. And one chin won't do. If you're a Downey, it's kind of a private collection. Folks, before we get started, I want to remind you, big things happening here at the America First Warehouse. On December 6th, that's Saturday, we've got, it's the art exhibition. We've got Scott Lebedo. His work is right behind me. You can check that out. Kate Gansey. Kate Gansey, the famous designer. You may remember her. She, in record time, whipped up a Charlie Kirk jacket for me when the animals assassinated him. And, of course, my tinfoil hat. She's going to be on the radio tomorrow with me, I believe. Tomorrow at, I want to say 10:07. So check it out. You can go to linewsradio.com, and you can hear Kate Gansey, the artist, coming on to talk all about the show. We've got the December 7th, that's Sunday. That is the holiday shopping extravaganza. You don't want to miss that. 11 to 5. And check out, you got to go. TAFW stands for the America First Warehouse. Go to TAFWsoundmoney.com. And you can buy gold. You can buy gold, fractional gold, because who's got money for all the gold now? You just buy fractions, then you get to own some gold. Great idea. Check it out. We've got a lot going on, and I'm just going to jump into it. We've got some videos. The first thing I think we should probably talk about is it appears to be the religion of pieces again. Looks like some guy at the University of Delaware was going to shoot up the school. He was going to shoot up the school because Allah Akbar, I think, was his excuse. Says he wanted to be a martyr. He wanted to be a martyr. That's not really a word that we Christians use. We don't run around like, hey, I'd like to be a martyr today. How do I do that? Oh, I got to shoot a bunch of people. No, we don't. I've never actually seen a priest blaze up a college or anything like that. It's usually a leftist, folks. And again, it is this guy, young man. Look at this. A car full of guns. His name is Luqman Khan. Luqman Khan sounds Irish to me. Luqman. So it's not Luqman, it's Luqman. Got to get two A's in there. Man. Luqman. And he had a bunch of Glocks. He's got this really cool attachment. You put it on a handgun, it becomes more of a rifle. So it's more accurate. And he's got a map. He's got the whole thing. We catch these idiots all the time. Sometimes they murder people first before we get them. Cops, thank God, they got this one earlier before he became a martyr. He was in a park that he shouldn't have been in because they were locking up. Instead of just saying, hey, you got to leave the park, they said, man, you look really nervous that we're here. What's in the car? And he goes, well, I got some guns. And so there you go, folks. Wonderful police work. Right now, a mass shooting did not take place. He was stopped. This is an idiot, and Christmas is coming, so we're going to see this more and more. And don't tell me there's no war on Christmas, KDJ. It's just you being a right-wing wacko. Well, did you see what happened when they opened the Christmas market in, I want to say, was it Brussels? Might have been Brussels. Well, the religion of pieces showed up. Bunch of smoke bombs and, tearing down Christmas trees and whatnot, because that's what they do. But that's the religion of peace. You don't believe me? Ask George Bush, President George Bush, Part 2. Remember? I'll tell you, I was lying in my bed in Brooklyn, smelling the bodies of fellow New Yorkers burning in the rubble of what used to be the World Trade Center. And there's George Bush on TV saying that Islam is the religion of peace. Well, they just blew up our two biggest buildings. So, actually, the Sears Tower, I think, is bigger. In Chicago. That's the second city, not nearly as cool as New York City. So good news, they stopped some animal who was going to kill a bunch of college kids for Allah, I believe. I think it was a gift to Allah, pre-Christmas gift. For the day of Christmas, my Muhammad gave to me one guy who didn't get to shoot up schools. So I love this. I love that they stopped him. We'll have to celebrate that with, you know what? Let's celebrate that right now with a video. Bill, let's go with number 2, video number 2. This is us celebrating that they stopped the religion of peace from blazing up a college. What better way to celebrate that than with a celebratory video? That would be number 2. If they're, yes, sir, that's the one. Yeah, let's celebrate. Watch that porker. Oh! There you go. There you go. By God, that's how I celebrate, folks. That's how I celebrate. When they run over a salad-dodging communist. And she thinks she's, oh, I can't believe he did that. Well, get out of the road, sea cow. Get out of the road. That's how we celebrate. Keep that one up there, boys. We might have another reason to celebrate before the show is over. Folks, let's get into more stories. I've got tons of them. I bleed stories. But, yeah, we got this guy. That's always a good thing. He also had extended ammo magazines. Those are probably okay. In Delaware. Delaware is, of course, like the trailer park of states. It really is. And I've been through there 1,000 times. And I say through because I rarely stop. I rarely stop. It really is white trashville. And I say that as someone who is trailer park adjacent. Didn't live in one. My parents did for years, so I spent hundreds of nights double wide. Hate to brag. Double wide. All right. Look at this. Folks, I've got a new article up at pjmedia.com. Now, everyone's talking about Pete Hegseth. He's a big old war criminal. There's a couple of narco-terrorists clinging to a piece of a boat. And, they were clinging, and he blew them up. And he said, I kill them all. I hate these people. He didn't say anything like that at all, folks, I assure you. But, and I'm going to tell you why this is going on. Why this whole war criminal thing. Well, you know what they do every week or so, maybe every 10 days. They come up with a new trauma. This time, it's Pete Hegseth is a war criminal. And I wrote something at pjmedia.com. You can click on the word offers, and you can click on my face, my very face. And this one's called Take Me Down to Psyop City, the reality behind the war crimes codswallop. And let me just tell you what's going on. This was planned. Step number 1. Billboards around the nation went up that said, hey, you don't have to follow illegal orders. If you're in the military, you don't have to follow illegal orders. And everyone thought, oh, it's weird they're putting up billboards. And then the seditious 6 came out and said, you don't have to follow legal orders. That's when we knew it was PSYOP City. This was calculated. And why were they doing that? Well, it turns out they have video from the first strike. The first drug boat that got blown to pieces. September 2nd, maybe? Not sure. Anyway, they saw what appeared to be 2 survivors clinging to a piece of boat, and then they were blown up and killed. All right? Now, they were planning this. That's why we've seen it come out the way it did. First, the billboards. Then, 6 people, some of them with military background. One was, I think, in the CIA. Oof, yeah. He's a senator now from my home state of Michigan. Way to go. I don't think she won. I don't think anyone with a brain would elect a member of the CIA to a political post. And they planned this whole thing out, folks. And why? Well, it just happens to come at the same time that some animal from Afghanistan, who was led in by Joe Biden, murdered a 20-year-old female National Guardsperson. I'm not sure the woke thing to say there, and I don't really go by woke, so we'll say guardsman. And she died. Sadly, she died. And what'd they do? Well, Trump, just on Trump's hands, she shouldn't have been there in the first place. No. Washington, D.C. is a toilet, and it's been a toilet because the Democrats have been running it for decades. Right? We go through this all the time. You pick a big blue toilet town, I'll tell you the last year they had a Republican mayor. All right. So D.C., I don't even know. No one knows if there's ever been a Republican mayor. But sadly, she and another, guardsman shot, and they have to distract from that because that's a really horrible look. It's a horrible look to say, wow, I'm a Democrat, and the guy I voted for let this animal in. And what did he do? Well, he shot 2 of our people, one of whom is dead. That's a bad look. So what'd they do? They said, look at this, man. We've got this. We're going to say war crimes. We're going to try to pin Pete Hegseth as a war criminal. Also, if the Democrats win the midterms, we can't let that happen, folks. this past presidential election was the most important presidential election probably in the history of mankind. All right? It was either this one, I'm going to say this one. Is it this one or Lincoln? Because the country was going to be torn in two. So they got Lincoln in, and he said, nah, it's not going to happen on my watch. And he kept the nation together. Even though one nation, the southern states, run almost entirely by Democrats, they didn't want to give up their slaves, their property, as they considered them. I don't really consider human beings to be property. That's me. I'm not a Democrat anymore. Used to be. But even then, I wasn't for slavery. Well, they, of course, former Confederate soldiers also started the Klan in Pulaski, Tennessee, 1865 in the summer after the war. And then Jim Crow laws came along. All of this with Democrat Party fingerprints all over them. Someone, probably that obese, green-haired chuckle monkey, the one, who's never smiling, likes to ruin Christmas, ruin Thanksgiving. I'll tell you, when two sides switch, to switch sides, the Democrats, they were racist. They said, we're done being racist. At the exact same time, the Republicans said, man, we freed the slaves, but now we don't like them. We want to be against black people. So folks, don't believe anything they say. Do not believe anything they say. I'm telling you they're animals. But back to it, back to this war crimes thing. They're going to use this to impeach Trump if they take over the House. And if they take over the House and Senate, Trump will be gone in a month. That is their plan, because they know once he gets past the midterm elections, if he keeps the House and Senate, then he really goes crazy. There's no stopping him. Sure, I would like to see way more laws now. Haven't really had that. Hold on, I got a lot more to say. Stick around.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW, making travel great again.
Hey, fellow patriots, it's Cindy Gross here, host of Right for America, from your favorite place, the America First Warehouse. You've seen me show on my show so many products from this country's #1 most patriotic manufacturer with close to 400 products. You need to exchange the products you use in your house to this company and make your dollars count in our country.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you were to tell me, hey, KDJ, why don't you pick your least favorite toilet person out there? I'd say that's probably Tim Walz. He's actually more of a diarrhea person. But you probably saw Somalians. They're a minority in Minnesota. There's only like 107,000 of them. But that's enough to throw elections to Ilhan Omar. So for God's sakes, if you're from Minnesota, please vote her out. Anyway, Somalians have been busted stealing $1 billion, a little more. That's B with the billion. And they got a couple of scams. One of them was Feed Our Future. That's for kids with COVID who can't find enough to eat during the winter of severe illness and death. This is my fourth, I think. This is my fourth illness. I'm unvaccinated and completely non-suicidal. Let me throw that out there, too. And Tim Walz is in trouble because he knew this was happening. 480 employees from the Department of Homeland Security in Minnesota came out and said he knew, and we've been telling him about it, about Somalians stealing, and he didn't do anything. He said, Somalians are great people. You're a bunch of racists. And I'm sure there are some great Somalians, and I'm sure there are some horrible Somalians. Well, there's well over 100 now. Well over 100. Almost every one of them stealing. They pretended their kids had autism. So they get some money, excuse me, and then they'd keep some, and then they send the rest to Al-Shabaab so they could go around cutting off heads of Westerners, doing all the horrible things that Al-Shabaab does. Al-Shabaab, of course, big in the Horn of Africa. I've been to Djibouti, and I performed for the troops there at the base. Camp Lejeune, not the one with the dirty water down south. This is a different one. And they said the neighborhood is so dangerous that when you get stationed there, you get combat pay. Because every once in a while, some chucklehead decides he's going to toss a hand grenade. Well, they stopped doing hand grenades because they moved the T-walls back. T-wall is a cement wall shaped like the letter T, but upside down. And so this is the bottom of it, and here's the wall, and you put them around. And so they pushed them back. So now they had to bring in mortars to launch over the wall. Dangerous place. But check out, this is Tampon Tim. This is Tim Walz running for re-election of Minnesota. This guy was almost the vice president. And when you're the vice president, you're one breath away from being the president. And I've always said, if Kamala wins, we're screwed. But the Chinese will kill her. They'll make it look like MAGA did it, and they'll make this guy president because Tim Walz loves himself some China, and China loves himself some Tim Walz. Tim Walz is also really big, excuse me, into his Somali community because they're taking over. The religion of peace is sent here to replace us. This is Tim Walz. Look, you think he's being cute. Check out what he does with his state flag. Tim Walz, folks.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, isn't this cute? There's a state flag. Wait a minute. Hey, wow, that looks a lot like the Somalian flag. A whole lot like the Somalian flag. Oh,
There, that's better.
that's better. I'm selling out my state. I'm selling out my state to the Somalis, and all I want is some votes, and I want them to take over. And that is exactly what's happening. And Tim Walz is a big part of it, folks. He's a real big part of that. Oh, by the way, Bill, I just dropped my IVF. I'll plug it back in when we're done, but the battery fell out, so I can't hear you anyway. I'll just keep watching that clock. All right, now, Tim Walz, so happy to get rid of his old Minnesota flag, redesign it, make it look like Somalia's flag. Why is that? Because that's the future of his state if he has his way. And thus far, he has. And when he was asked, he said, hey, Tampon Tim, what about all these Somalis stealing over $1 billion? And the woman says, that's more than your prison system costs every year. And he said, and what did he say? Well, can't blame all the Somalis. Well, no one said all of them. But you've got 107,000 Somalis. Now, we just caught over 100 of them stealing. If you look at it, that's pretty bad. All right? That's a minority of the state stealing a majority of the funds while Tim Walz allegedly looked the other way. This should be the end of him, right? No. Well, if he was a Republican, it'd be the end of him. If he was a Republican and he was allowing people to steal, that'd be the end of him. But remember, in Minnesota, Somalis are first-class citizens. Americans are not. They are not first-class citizens at all. They are second-class citizens in their own country. Now Trump's saying, I want these people out. He ended the temporary protective status, means he can start shucking them out anytime. Even funnier, he's sending ICE and the Border Patrol to Minneapolis. And turns out, according to Kristi Noem, 50% of every immigration application they get from Minneapolis, almost all of them are from Somalis, and 50%, maybe 52%, are complete crap. They're garbage. They're filling them out wrong. They're lying to get in. Ilhan Omar married her brother to get him in, for God's sake. I know this is not a rumor. I investigated him. You know, I was writing from my computer, but went through every file I could find. That woman is guilty as charged, marrying her brother to bring him in. And just for poops and giggles, Rashida Tlaib's got a brother, lives in, I think, Westland, Michigan, where I went to high school, and he's in and out of jail all the time. He's just an animal. Folks, when you bring the third world into the first world, well, you get the third world. Why are these countries, why is Somalia a third world poop hole? Well, it's because that's what the people have made it. And now someone's going, racist. It's not race. I don't care what color they are. If you are uncivilized, if your number one industry is piracy, arg, which it is, you're probably living in a crap hole country. And if you bring them here, what are you going to get? Well, you're going to get the same thing you've got in Somalia. They're just doing it here. Why would they come here? I think the funniest thing in the world, Somalia is like in the desert. And where Barack Obama put his Somalians, he put them in one of the coldest states we have, Minnesota. That's not Alaska, but it's pretty cold there. It's pretty cold there. Let's face it, folks. So Tim Walz in trouble. I think that's another reason they're pushing war crimes, war crimes. Throw it up, see if it gets any attention. Remember, to the leftists, folks, you throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. If it doesn't, hopefully it just leaves a stain. Another angle for these animals is they're trying to tire us out. Man, just get rid of Trump. I can't stand the drama anymore. He brings so much drama. He doesn't bring it. They create it. The good news is people understand that now. That's why Trump won the way he did. He won every swing state. That's the amazing thing. I mean, if you take 250,000 votes, from around the country, which you can't do, well, if you're a Democrat, you can do anything when there's an election. So we didn't win big enough. I mean, I think they cheated. I think Trump actually won way bigger than we know. That's what I think. I think they said, well, we're ready to cheat now, and they just didn't have the goods. It's harder to cheat this time, too, because they knew that half the nation, the half with the guns, probably going to be a little cranky. But, yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Tim Walz going down. Now, something I wanted to say about this article I wrote, Take Me Down to PSYOP City. There's something else going on here. I believe, and I've got some evidence here. Check out the article. Go to pjmedia.com. And if you're on your phone, you'll have to just find it. But if you're on the computer, you can click on authors. I don't think you can do that on the phone. Anywho, looks here. I firmly believe that the cartels are in cahoots with the Democrats and a couple of rhinos. And I have found situations where the CIA has been involved with drug trafficking, gives them some money to go do the evil stuff that they do. And I believe, now I'll tell you this, I firmly believe the CIA was flying into a town called Mena, Arkansas, to drop off the dopes. They had some of the cocaine and sell that, make a lot of money. I think they're doing it again. I think the cartels and the Democratic Party are once again tied at the hip. And I think they're all in on it, and they're all making money. Why else would they try so hard to put Trump in jail or to kill Trump several times? Why would they spend every waking second going, what do we got now? I know, war criminal. Yeah, he's a war crime. Folks, these are not soldiers we're fighting. These are people who cut off heads for fun. And I'm not making that up. I have found studies, and I put one in this article, about how the gangbangers love to cut off heads. That sends a message. Shooting someone is so 20th century. You got to cut off their heads today. It's all in the article. Check it out, Maine. I firmly believe the cartels are working with the Democratic Party for two reasons. Number one, smuggle in those illegal immigrants, 10 grand apiece, and there's 20 million, so do the math. You can see a lot of people making a lot of money. Don't forget, Joe Biden saying, you know what? No DNA tests at the border anymore. That anyone can bring a kid in. Whatever happens to that kid, happens to that kid. We don't know. I'm telling you, folks, as sure as the sun will rise, the Biden's fingerprints are going to be all over this. Democrats, definitely. If it all comes out, and I think, God, I hope it does, the Democratic Party should and probably will be dead in the water for quite some time. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know. You can send it somewhere. I'll probably see it. We're on Twitter right now and a few other places. But I don't watch me. I've seen my acts before. And I think I'm pretty good. I don't need to see it anymore. But look at this. Don't forget, Democrats doing so poorly with money, they took out a $15 million loan for the November elections. Why would they do that? They've never done that. Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, they're not getting money from USAID. Number two, the border's closed. You're not getting money from the cartels bringing in the dopes and trafficking human beings. Trafficking human beings. A lot of money is flying out of the Democrats' pockets. They're not going to have that anymore. All right, there you go. We've got, now, you know what? We've got a commercial coming up. But before we do that, I'll do some commercials, and then we're going to jump into something that's going to be a lot of fun. Remember, folks, December 7th, holiday shopping extravaganza. A bunch of people here selling stuff, arts, crafts, fun stuff, food, beverages, all sorts of things going on. Art exhibit on December 6th, that's Saturday. Scott Lebedo, Kate Gansey, and a bunch of others. You don't want to miss it. Kate is my favorite. She's wonderful. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back, and I've got more nonsense on these idiots we call Democrats.
You've worked hard and saved, but inflation and increased money supply are eroding your buying power. Protect and grow your wealth with physical gold and silver. Sound Money. With a Sound Money wallet, your wealth stays in your control. Buy fractionally, vault securely, ship directly, and instantly liquidate your gold and silver at the highest buyback price in the industry. Real money, real ownership. Visit tafwsoundmoney.info or scan the QR code and start securing your financial future today.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
At the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
The America First Warehouse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're watching the Kevin Downey Jr. podcast, Be Free, Stay Free, coming at you live from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in the galaxy. I love it here. I'm here as often as I can be. I'll be here Sunday for the big holiday extravaganza, Christmas extravaganza. I like to say Christmas, but you can call it what you like. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and that's going to be from 10 a.m. No, sorry, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll be here for some of that, hanging out, having fun. Look at this. We got another guy arrested. He's been kicked out 4 times, I believe. And let's see, he's from Turkey. His name is, I'm sure I'm going to say this wrong, Saim Ergi. Saim Ergi. Sounds Italian. Now he's from Turkey. Now, he was arrested, and he tried to grab a cop's taser. And so he's from Turkey. He wants to tase the cop. And he yells something out. Let's see, we'll have a quiz. He yells something out. It's one of these 3. Is it A, I'm going to kill you in the name of Jesus Christ? B, I didn't order ham, I ordered turkey? Or C, Allah Akbar? Which one is it? It's C. It's C. You knew. Yeah, there you go. Now, a friend of mine is in a Facebook fight with someone who said that white supremacists kill people all over the place. And they assassinate people in bars and all sorts of... First of all, if you're shot in a bar, you're not assassinated. You just got shot, all right? Number 2, it's not white supremacy doing it, no matter which standards you go by. It's not MAGA. It's not. If you want to go by politically themed attacks, well, that would be the religion of pieces. If you just want to go by straight crimes, that would be a group of people who do not look like me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to point any fingers here, but I am from Detroit, and Detroit is a toilet. Yeah, I'll let you figure it out. So, yeah, there you go. But don't believe these leftists, because they're coming out in force, and half of them are going to be bots anyway. I just discovered some guy who was coming to my Facebook page, caused trouble. He's a bot. How do I know? Well, he had 700 friends, and not one of them ever bothered to leave a message on his page. Very few ever hit a like button on anything. That's how you know you're dealing with a bot, baby. You're dealing with a bot. So, Saim Ergi, have fun. Have fun in jail. And you know what? If they're going to leave and just come back, well, they can't come back now. The border's shut down. But maybe it's time to chip them. Maybe we got to chip some of these people so we know where they're at. Oh, look, it's coming back over the border, down there by whatever town. Let's go get them. Let's go get them. Now, I don't know if you noticed. I was mentioning one of the reasons for this war crime thing is they want to take away from the fact that an illegal immigrant, a naked guy, he's naked and he's diversity. He's the face of diversity, and he shot that guardswoman. They're trying to cover that up. That's bad business. But look at how desperate they are. They're trying to get people to feel sympathy for gangbangers, for narco-terrorists, for people who traffic human beings, people who cut off heads of the people that they're tired of. I was performing in El Paso, Texas, at a comedy club there, and I said, I'm going to go. Someone said, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, I'm going to go over the border. I've never been to Mexico. And a woman said, Poppy, that means daddy, I think. And she says, Poppy, I'm from Mexico. Don't go. They're going to cut off your head. And I started laughing. She goes, I'm not kidding. I said, why would they cut off my head? Because they can. Someone might want your shoes. Someone might think, look at that guy. Let's just kill him. Again, they do this. They kill people just to say, hey, look how tough we are. We'll kill you. Don't mess with us. So I've never been to Mexico. But another reason, folks, another reason. And, of course, what was the naked pile of diversity yelling when he was shooting them? He's yelling, we'll have another quiz. Was he yelling, I'm killing you in the name of Jesus Christ? Was he yelling, I didn't order the ham? Or did he yell, Allah Akbar? That's Allah Akbar. It always is. It always is, folks. Remember, you've never seen a nun explode. All right? You never have. All right. Now, let's do this. As you know, folks, I am unvaccinated and completely non-suicidal. And people are always yelling at me, oh, get the shot. Even if you save just one life, you're so selfish. You won't even get one shot. You could save someone's life. A granny killer. Well. Let me put on my tinfoil hat. Looks like we're right again. The FDA has concluded that no fewer than 10 children have died from getting the COVID vaccine. The vaccine's so good, they had to redefine the word vaccine. Well, the vaccine used to mean you get the shot, you can't get it. Not anymore. Remember, folks, if nothing else, remember this. By April of 2022, and you should keep this in your back pocket for Christmas dinner. By April of 2022, there were more vaccinated people dying of or with COVID than non-vaccinated. What does that tell you? It doesn't work. And they say, well, if you get the shot, you can't share COVID. That was a lie. They never even tested it for that. But they were so happy to come out and take a big virtuous dump on us, on we the people who knew the shot was garbage. All right? Now we know at least 10 children have died. You know what that means? That means it's probably more like 700. They'll cop to 10. They'll cop to, well, it's only 10. If you think about it, 20 million people got the shot, or whatever, 80 million people got the shot. What about if it saves just one life? What if you don't get the shot? You save 10. Unvaccinated and completely non-suicidal. There you go. Up yours, Fauci. Fauci was the idiot pusher. I know they all did. What's that? I forget her name. Rachel Maddow. That's her. She was the one, very pompously. It's over. Just get the shot. It's over. Nope. She was trying to poison us. I'm telling you, folks, there is not a deep enough dungeon in hell for these animals who push this stuff. It took big old dumps on us because we knew better. We knew better. All right? Now, you can read about this if you want at the, I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce. Is it the Epic Times or the Epoch Times? I don't really know. I don't know. I'll check on the commercial because I should know that. But yeah, so much for if you get the shot, saves one life. Come on, KDJ, get on board. Get on board. Oh, you know what? I should have done this one sooner. Tampon Tim. Remember, folks, how they told us that illegal immigrants, well, it's just, they don't work. They're not allowed to. Then it was, they do the jobs no one likes. And then it was, well, they don't get any benefits. They don't get health care. It was all lies. Well, Tampon Tim Walz, not even hiding it now, he's quite excited that illegal immigrants will now partake of the medical leave program in Minnesota. He's excited. Now, I was told these people can't work. Well, they're having a baby. They get to take time off work that's paid. Huh. So you can come here now illegally. They'll give you a place to live, and most of these people don't work. Same thing in England. Most of them are not working. Their job right now is to get all the wives they can and create all the babies they can. That way they can outbreed us, and we'll all be gone. Folks, your grandchildren will be hunted. Mark it down. It's sick to say, but I'm not going to lie. They will hunt your grandkids down. You go, oh, my grandkids are 20. Then your great-grandkids will be hunted down. We see it happening in England now. I've got, I can't play the video. It's too long. Piers Morgan, he's, that English journalist guy. He's interviewing a woman who says she sent a text message to her friend. And she, I guess, jokingly called him a word that starts with the letter F, a derogatory term for gay man. 6 letters, not the 3-letter version of that word. And as she's taking a bath, the cops let themselves in, say, "You're under arrest." And she said, "What?" And she's naked, and there's 11 cops. 11 cops, one of whom's a woman. 10 of them are men. They sent 11 cops to this woman's house, said, you said something offensive. Now, I'm reading, it was via text message. If that's true, what we know is that in England, they're monitoring even text messages. Now, someone said it was an email. Okay, well, they're still monitoring emails. They shouldn't be doing that. Why was she arrested? A word. And look, I'm not defending the use of the word, but I'm letting you know, in England, they'll come and get you. And I've always said it, and I hate to say that I've always been right. What's happening in England now will hit us in probably 3 years, 3 to 5. I've always said 3 to 5, maybe even 2.5. They're speeding up the program. So yeah, busted in her tub, and she goes, "Can you just get out of the bathroom? I'm naked." "Nah, we're gonna hang out here." And she's like, I was like crying. Finally, they chased the men out, and the one female cop, talks to her because she's naked. Now, what happened before that a couple weeks ago? Knock at the door, knock, knock. 2 female cops. "We're here to get your daughter's phone." She looked at something online. They didn't say it was a meme. They didn't say that she hit the like button. They said she looked at it. Now we need her phone. Folks, England, it's their leaders. They're chasing out their own people. They're globalists. They're animals, and they deserve to be rounded up and shot. Will that happen? No. I fear England is probably gone. I hate to say it, but I don't see how they bounce back unless Trump does something, which, if you notice how he's speaking lately, he's saying things a little differently. He's saying, look at it, all right, now there's, I think, 19 countries that can't send people here anymore for a while. Somalia is one of them, Venezuela. And he says, anyone who is opposed to Western civilization. He's not saying America. He's now using the phrase Western civilization. If you're not down with Western civilization, can't come in. Trump could actually do something to save Western Europe. I don't know what that is, but he's got a lot of power. And I don't mean military power. I mean financial power. Look what he's doing. He's going after their money. He's going after Antifa's money. That is how you stop them. When the Marxists don't have any money, it's over. And you've got your diehards who'll do it for free. They'll go out and beat up Teslas and whatnot. That's always going to be a thing. But if you take away the money from the Marxists, well, now they've got next to nothing. Next to nothing. And there aren't enough of them to sustain themselves, all right? Getting college kids to go terrorize. Oh, hold on, we got to go. We'll be right back.
Have you noticed your money just doesn't stretch like it used to? Your paycheck feels lighter, and your savings aren't growing. The culprits? Inflation and increased money supply. They've both been quietly eating away at your purchasing power for years. Today, the dollar's value has dropped significantly. You feel it every time you spend money on goods and services. Back in 1965, $1 or an ounce of silver could buy you a gallon of milk. Fast forward to today. That same dollar barely buys a couple of coffee creamers, while an ounce of silver would get you 8 gallons of milk. Gold and silver have held their value for centuries. If you had 2,500 ounces of silver back in 1965, you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang. Today, 2,500 ounces of silver would buy you 2 Mustangs. Similarly, in the year 2000, 628 ounces of gold would buy a new $170,000 home. Today, 628 ounces would buy you a $2,500,000 home. The problem? 95% of Americans don't own physical gold or silver. They think it's too complicated and too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We offer a membership program that allows you to buy gold or silver with as little as $1. You can buy fractional amounts, safely vault them, or have them delivered to your doorstep, and you can liquidate them whenever you want at the highest buyback price in the industry. Ready to protect your wealth and keep your purchasing power? Scan the QR code or go to tafw.soundmoney.com to learn more.
At the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome to Right for America. Issues that unite, don't ignite.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone. We live stream every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. right here from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in all the land.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Welcome to Liberty's Cage, the podcast tearing down the walls of America's broken justice system.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome to Suffocating in Suburbia with me, your host, Stevie GB.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Oh, folks, the last segment of the day, excuse me, boo, having fun. You're watching the Kevin Downey Jr. podcast, Be Free, Stay Free. Now, check out this freak show. This is, excuse me, a Methodist pastor from Rochester, New York. And this comes from the New York Post. I'm going to clown slap them a little bit. Let's take a look. This is a Methodist, I don't know how old this dude is, but he's just suddenly decided, well, I'm not a man. Check it out.
Are my parents okay with this? Absolutely not.
Okay.
They texted me this morning
Keep in
and
mind.
they asked for me to tell you all
Hold on.
that they do not support me
Victimhood.
and that they have chosen their convictions and their beliefs over supporting their child.
Oh.
Everyone gets nervous when there's a special announcement
Watch
from
this.
the pastor. I'm not leaving.
What you're going to see next is a vulgar display of narcissism.
I'm going to hold you to it. So, rarely.
Watch, here's a lie.
I did not get into ministry to talk about myself
Yes, he
or
did.
my personal life, but sometimes
Oh, do I
there are
see a
things
little
that
rainbow
happen
action there?
in a pastor's
This is all
personal
about
life
him.
that is going to find its way out into ministry.
Look at him.
And so
He's playing up.
I am inviting you to join
He's
me
holding
in
back
a
tears, folks.
season of creative transformation for myself.
Creative
And I
transformation
think for
of myself.
all
I don't
of
talk
us.
about
So
myself.
I get to announce with joy that I'm transitioning.
Of course you
I'm
are.
affirming and saying to all of you that I am transgender. And so,
One guy like it.
so
Whoa.
the best
One
way
guy.
to put this is that I'm not
right, folks.
becoming a woman.
Two
I'm
things
getting up
transgender
pretending
people
to be a man.
all possess, almost all of them. Number one, they love their victimhood. Number two, a scorching case of narcissism. Look at me. Everybody look at me. This is all about me. And he's wearing the thing. I forget what the thing's called. But it's the pride colors. It's all about him, folks. This is his prom. You know the people who live for prom? Oh, man, I've been waiting for prom my whole life. This is like the way young girls plan their weddings. Finally, here it is. It's all about me. And just comes up to the congregation, one guy digging it. Now, here's what steams my clams. New York Post says, and I shall read my broadcaster's voice, a Methodist pastor from Rochester, New York, shocks her congregation, that's his, after publicly announcing she, that's he, is a transgender woman. During a service, Pastor Phil Fenyuf, now transitioning and adopting new pronouns, said her parents do not support her decision. That would be his parents do not support his position. My point is, New York Post, don't play the pronoun game. When you do, you give in. You win. That's why I don't do it. And I don't care. Like if I met the guy, he goes, "Oh, my name's Transista now. I'm Transistor Radio. That's my new name." I say, "Hey, Transistor," and I'd be fine with that. But I'm not going to be yelled at for not playing. I know it's a man. I'm not going to play the he, she. All that is right there, that is a Marxist attempt to control your brain. That's all that is, folks. You will call that woman a man. And if you don't, we're going to throw you in jail. We're going to jump in. We're going to jump into the bathtub with you if you call someone a name that we don't like. And that will go for pronouns. It's already happened. We've seen people here in the United States getting fired for not playing the pronoun game. It's not really happening anymore. The DEI thing is out the window. Everyone realizes what a bucket of feculence it's all been. But man, oh man, those toilet people love to come down on people like you and me because we don't play the stupid pronoun game. All right? We know better. We do not play by their rules. Watch them do this. Remember, folks, if you control the language, you control everything. You control everything. And that's why we don't let them pick the language. I mentioned earlier, my friends, the white supremacists, they're assassinating people every day. No, they're not. They're not. They're not even, I mean, I'm not defending them. They're Klan clowns. Who gives a crap? But they're not doing the things that they're accused of doing. Who is? Well, it's a religion of pieces. We're not allowed to talk about that. That would make us Islamophobic. I happen to know that the number one group for murdering people would be roughly 6.5% of the population. They commit 55%, 56% of the solved murders. And if you go after the unsolved murders, just using simple mathematics, let's say Chicago. Chicago, they arrest 18% of murder suspects there. And whether they're found guilty or not is something else. But 18% of murder suspects are arrested, and the rest are not. So that means 82% of murders in Chicago are not solved. So we don't know who's killing those people. Well, if black folks are committing 50% of the 56% of the solved murders, and you have this other big pile, mostly in big blue toilet towns. Well, according to HeyJackass.com, 75% of the murderers are black, and roughly 75% of the victims as well. So when you hear people say, "Man, it's white supremacy, they're going to wipe out the nation," no, it's not. It's anything but. It's anything but. I've also read someone did a study, and they said, well, we didn't always arrest people, but we had descriptions. If going by that, I think it's 81%. 81%. But you're not supposed to talk about that because, remember, the Marxists are taking over. And they do want a race war. They're going after Whitey first. Look out, crackers. Here it comes, Peckerwoods. Peckerwood's a funny name for a redneck. I don't get to use the word Peckerwood enough. All right, here's how we know Trump's doing a great job. Example number 78. Example number 78. As you know, there's a lot of fraud going on with the food stamps. They call it SNAP because it doesn't sound as bad as food stamps. Remember, control the language, control the narrative. They're not on food stamps. When I was a kid, being on food stamps was humiliating. Now it's SNAP. That's their SNAP benefits. Yeah, okay. No, I'm not making fun of people who go on it. I know good people who've gone on. They didn't stay on forever like a lot of idiots do. But look at this. Starting next week, 21 Democrat-controlled states will lose SNAP funding. Why? Because the Fed said, we want the name of everybody who's on SNAP in your state, because they're finding fraud all over the joint. They're finding 500,000 people who shouldn't be on it. They're finding illegal immigrants. They're finding thousands of people who are on twice. They're finding dead people. They're still getting their SNAP. What happens? Well, that means their family's taking it. Have you ever been to the store, folks? I'll tell you, God, this has to be 2009, maybe 2011. I'm at the grocery store. I'm a comedian. It's summer. That means the gigs have dried up. Everyone's going to the beach. Everyone's going to the pool, to the lake, whatever. No one's going to comedy clubs. I call summer soup days because you eat the cheap soup. So I'm walking around Key Foods, big store. I was living in New Jersey at the time. And I'm seeing these SNAP queens with baskets of food. Monstrous baskets. And I've got my Hydrox because, they're cheaper than Oreos. And I got, I think, a box of, like, Fruit Lumps, because that's cheaper than Fruit Loops. I think I was eating Fruit Lumps. And one after another. Big bag of groceries that they're not even paying for. I was like, man, I wish I had no soul so I could get all the freebies. Look at this. It's going to be great. So they found 186,000 dead people who were getting food stamps, 500,000 that received benefits more than twice. All right? Not even twice, more than twice. Multiple people receiving benefits in 6 states. 6 states. One person getting food in 6 states. Look at that. All right. Now, the blue states, they did not turn in their information. They're going to throw their supposedly poor people under the bus. They're not poor. Most of them are here illegally. I think 56% of SNAP recipients are not here legally. Well, who would do that? Tim Walz. Tim Walz is keeping Somalians from going to jail. He's allowing them to steal. Another Somalian stole $7.2 million. A jury found him guilty in 4 hours, and the judge said, he's not. I decide he's not guilty. Yeah, the jury screwed up. They didn't hear something that must have been said. Let him go. They're allowing this, folks. This is part of their plan. Trump sees it. He knows it. What better way to get people to leave the country than to say, you don't get free food anymore. You weren't supposed to have free food. SNAP is not for you. It's for Americans. It's for Americans who are down on their luck. It's for single moms, whatever. They never said, well, you know what they did say? They said, and I've heard it 100 times, there's no illegal immigrants getting any sort of benefits. You're just a big old racist, KDJ. Big old racist. And now they're finding more than 50% of SNAP recipients are not even Americans. Folks, look at the culture. 2018, if Trump did that, they'd go nuts. He's starving brown people. Look at him. He doesn't care. He's starving brown people. Hey, there's a flock of seagulls cam. That's my favorite. But now people are behind it because people who pay with their taxes for these freeloaders to eat, we're done. We're absolutely done. All right? There's a new dawn. The culture has shifted, and that is what's going to save our nation. The culture has shifted. All right? People are saying, look at Trump. He called Tim Walz retarded. Oh, they would have eaten him last time. Doesn't matter. They're done. Their day is done. Woke is dying. Americans are taking their nation back. And when you get the culture, remember, it's culture first, and then politics will follow. You can't change this culture. It takes a long time, sometimes decades. It's changing. I can feel it pull every day back to normalcy. And you're going to see, folks, next year at this time, I promise you, Trump knows the midterms are coming. He needs to make some big moves. He's doing it. A year from now, we're going to be on Easy Street. Ladies and gentlemen, check me out tomorrow morning and every weekday at 103.9 FM. Go to linewsradio.com. See you then. Be free, stay free.